Hello everyone, I'm Anna Emm. I'm a South African author and I've just written a book called Bartholomew is in Love. I've made this short video to tell you a little bit more about it. So Bartholomew is in Love is a suspense thriller set in the South African coastal town of Struisbaai. Now I know it's a strange name for a thriller, and when I came up with the name Bartholomew is in Love, I had quite a few people disagree with me and said that it was going to be confusing. But I thought I love the irony of it, that you get a book that has like a dark wicked cover with a siren on top of it, and then it has the name Bartholomew is in Love. So I was hoping that it would inspire some questions in my readers. So like with most of my other books, this book kind of crisscrossed through genres. I'm not very good at sticking to one genre, but mostly I would say it's a thriller, it's a suspense with a little bit of romance and maybe a little bit of mystery and also some fantasy. So the story is about this guy, Bartholomew, who lives on an isolated island just off the shore of Struisbaai. The island is called Stranding Island. And what makes this island special is that it is the home of a cult community called the New Earth Fellowship. Now, Bartholomew's father, Nathan Lord, founded this cult. The reason why he started it was because he had an encounter with a siren, and this siren gave him some kind of enlightenment, which caused him to found this cult community. So the story starts out where Bartholomew's father, Nathan Lord, has just died. And Bartholomew, now 28 years old, is set to succeed him as the leader of this New Earth Fellowship cult. But Bartholomew has lived his whole life on the island. He was born there. The cult is all he knows. It's his family, it's his tribe, it is the people he trusts. He has no reason to doubt what they're telling him, and he has no experience of the outside world. In fact, he's a little bit cautious of it. So on the evening before his inauguration, before Bartholomew is set to become the new leader of this New Earth Fellowship cult, he sneaks off to the mainland with a friend, and there he meets this girl, Alex, and he falls head over heels in love with her. Now, Alex is a liberal journalist. She's all about freedom fighting and the rights of others, and she manages to convince Bartholomew that he is not free, that this cult community is holding him captive, and that there's a whole world out there waiting for him to explore. So she convinces him, and together the two of them, they hatch this escape plan to get him off the island and away from the people's control. But on the evening they set to escape, when Bartholomew reaches the meeting place, Alex doesn't show up. So now he is conflicted. He doesn't know what happened to her. He's worried. And especially when the next day he receives this note from her telling him that she's changed her mind, she doesn't want to go through with it anymore, and he must forget about her. He doesn't know if he believes the note. He doesn't know anymore if he believes the people on the island, what they're telling him. He suspects they had something to do with Alex's disappearance, and he's really worried for his safety. So he goes off to the mainland in search of answers, but he finds more questions. The conflict in him kind of grows because he doesn't know what to believe. He doesn't know what happened to Alex. He doesn't know what is true, what is not true. The question that if Alex isn't there anymore, if it's really true that she left him, does he still want to leave the island? And is he still able to leave the island without her help? He sets off on this dangerous quest to find answers, to find the truth, to find out what happened to Alex. But it's also about his inner conflict and his struggle to find out the truth about his life, and to, with his limited experience, find a way through the lies to see life as it really is. I think on a deeper level, the book is about freedom and what that really means, the people that inspire us to step out into freedom, and the cost to us. Now, as you may have guessed from the cover, there's also a siren in this book. This siren first encountered Bartholomew's father Nathan when he was a young man. She gave him enlightenment and she inspired him to found this cult community on the island. And ever since then, the people on the island have been told that this siren is protecting them. She's protecting the island and the cult. And should anyone try to leave, she will act vengeance on them and cause them to drown in the sea. So she comes to symbolize a lot of things in their life. She's the edge of their world. She shows up a few times in the book in a few surprising ways, which gives the book a little bit of a fantasy, dark twist that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Bartholomew in Love was inspired by a real-life historical event. In 1677, a Dutch slave ship called Meermin traveled with a lot of slaves on deck towards Cape Town, South Africa. There was a mutiny on board and the ship stranded offshore Struisbaai. It eventually broke up and disappeared into the sea. So it's part of the mystery of the coastline of South Africa. What happened to the ship? Where is it? Where are the remains of it? A few years ago, a group of marine archaeologists launched a big search for this slave ship, for the remains of the Meermin. A lot of time and money was invested, but they could never find it. So the remains of this slave ship is still a mystery, which kind of inspired the whole story of Bartholomew and the siren, because Meermin, the name of the ship, is also the Dutch and Afrikaans word for mermaid or siren. I wanted to read you a short excerpt from the book. This is the part where Bartholomew is in a small boat, a dinghy, on the way back to the island at night after he secretly visited with Alex on the mainland. Bartholomew finds the dinghy where he had left it on the beach, but instead of the waterline coming in, the tide has subsided. It takes him the better part of 5 minutes to drag the boat to the water's edge, but at least it warms him up. The water is freezing cold, but the surface is smooth as he gets into the boat and uses the oars to get him past the first wave so he can lower the engine. As it fires up, he sits back on the bench and heaves a sigh of relief. He turns the boat around and steers towards the island. He glances back a few times, trying to find the southern point in between the other lights in the dusk. He's grateful for the jacket. The night is cool and it feels much longer crossing the bay this time. He feels tired and his hands and feet are cold. The droning of the engine and the vibration of the steering rod in his hand is making him drowsy. He yawns a few times, his eyes tearing up. His mind wanders, replaying the evening, thinking about Alex. He's not paying attention, so his heart nearly stops when, about 200 meters from Strongman Island, he hits something. It is a loud, heavy thud against the side of the boat, strong enough to knock the dinghy slightly off balance in spite of its momentum. His heart is pounding. Bartholomew switches off the engine and looks back. There is a thin layer of fog now all around him, hovering just above the water. The swell made by the engine's blade slowly ebbs away. The water lapping against the outside of the boat is the only sound. Bartholomew lifts himself off the bench and looks over the edge of the boat, but beneath the surface the water lies dark and quiet. He moves to the other side and scans the surface. Nothing. Whatever it was is now gone, and there is no damage to the boat as far as he can see. He is stressed about time. He didn't sleep. His nerves are raw. Bartholomew sits down again and is just about to restart the engine when there's a splash in the water behind him. He turns around and is just in time to see a dark fin disappear into the water. A seal, perhaps? No, it's too big to be a seal. A dolphin, maybe. Well, whatever it was, at least it appears unhurt by their collision. He turns back, picking up the oars. It might be safer anyway to row in from here and not take the risk of someone on the island hearing the engine. He slips the oars into the rings and then uses them to turn the boat around so he is facing back to the mainland again. Just then, right in his line of vision, he can see a smooth black rounding, like the back of a whale, silently breaking the dark water a few meters off. It gleams in the faint light, and then it is gone. Frozen, his mind boggled, Bartholomew stares at the place where the creature appeared, wanting it to come up again to the surface to show itself, but there is nothing, just the mist and the darkness below, and the eerie quiet all around him. And when he looks over his shoulder towards the island, he sees the woman standing out there on the black rocks. Bartholomew in Love is available via Amazon in paperback and ebook. You can also go to your nearest Barnes & Noble or Waterstone store and order the book through them. It's on their system. If you're in South Africa, you can order via my website, annaemm.com. Thank you for watching this video. There will be more videos coming out about new books soon. So subscribe to my channel. Remember to like this video and stay safe. Happy reading. We'll chat soon. Bye.